What a difference a day makes. Yesterday it was 27 February 2015. Today it's the 28th. Yesterday it was raining. Today it's sunny. Today we have a different project here. Yesterday I brought you to the little bridge there and showed you 500 to 1,000 night crawlers that I picked up from under the pile. And now we're going to put together a worm farm, not using night crawlers but using red wigglers. I've picked up some red wigglers and from some manure, and I've got them in these two buckets here. This is going to be the base of the worm farm. It's got a spigot, so when the moisture comes down into the container here, you can actually have worm tea or worm pea, which is really good for plants. The first bucket that I'm setting up is identical to this one. And it has large holes in it, as you can see, but the little worms will actually crawl through that and then fall into here and maybe drown. So I've taken weed blocking material that's got small holes in it, and I'm going to place that on top of the base. And now I'm going to take some paper and put it in here. For bedding along with the horse manure. Wet it down because dry worms are dead worms, just like frozen worms are dead worms. So I'm going to moisten it. And I've already taken the time to moisten up the paper in the other one, so we can just take the worms out of the buckets. There, that's just about do it. And put them in. So let's see what we got here. The worms are going to start probably, I'm just going to put them down here and see when we hit the mother lode. They're sensitive to light, so a lot of these worms are going to probably have gone deeper, and lo and behold, it's probably coming to a lot real soon here. Let's just take a look at what we have here. There we go. Now we're coming into a lot of worms. And I imagine we're going to probably have about 1,000 to 2,000 worms out of these buckets here. Let's just, there we go. And we're going to place that there like that. That should be good for that level. Get the next level, place it on top. Oh yeah, look at all these worms. See all that? These are red wigglers. They have stripes around them, or like rings, and they're sometimes called tiger worms because of that. A lot of times the night crawlers are translucent, and even though the night crawlers are 3 or 4 times larger, these red worms, the red wigglers, they go by a lot of different names. Here's a large one. Give you an idea how large they can get. There you go. I don't know if you can see the red rings around them, but this is about as large as they get. And most of them are probably about this size. Right there, you can compare the difference. But if you feed them grains, they will grow large to about the size I have here, which is probably about 5 inches in length. All right, there we go. Lots of worms. All right, so we'll set up this tray quickly. And then we got 2 more trays. So this one's just about done. Throw another one in there. There. Oh, hanging on. All right. Take the next tray. Get on here. Pick these up. Put them on in here. Millate the paper and the manure, and eventually what we'll do is we'll move their diet from this horse manure to vegetation, to apple peels, to bananas, to lettuce, anything but citrus and onions. They don't like that. So what's really important is when you're going to feed them or make the transition from the horse manure to vegetation, is that you have to let the vegetation deteriorate. You have to let it break down before you feed it to them, because they just don't eat fresh fruit. They only eat things that have been decayed. So this is all decaying, and they love it. Oh, look at that. Look how many worms we got there. See that? All blowing up. Alrighty, there we go. And after we're done, we'll just put a top on, and they'll turn this into manure. And when that happens, then they can take the manure or the compost and put it out in the garden. And that's the plan. Quick composting so you can have a great garden. All right. There we go. Lots of hungry worms. Look at that. And they will literally eat about half their body weight. So we're talking about 3 or 4 pounds of worms here. So they can eat at least about 2 pounds of food a day, which means they can create a lot of compost. So now all we need to do is put a top on it. We're done, and we can deliver this to a teen center so they can learn about composting and learn how to recycle food back into nature. So that's it. We've set up a worm bin, and we've got one more level here, and we'll save that for the food, and then we'll just put a top on there. Voila, we're done. All right, this is Kevin and his wild worm ranch, because none of the worms are kept in captivity. They're all out here in the yard for the birds and the moles and anything else to eat. This is my yard, and I started this composting hobby just to let these western red cedars grow a lot faster so I can get some privacy in my backyard. So, time to deliver this. Thanks for visiting. Till next time, this is Kevin saying goodbye.